What's up booktube, welcome back. My name is Laura if you're new here, and today I'm letting Operation pick my TBR for August. So July was not a good reading month for me, like whatsoever. It was not a good month at all. My Operation TBR from last month, I only actually finished one book off of it. I DNF'd two of them, and then the fourth one, Phoenix Flame, I'm not planning on starting. I could, like I'm filming this a bit early. It's currently the 27th, so I do still have a couple days to start it, but I'm just really not in the mood for it, so I'm not going to right now, which means my first draw this month is going to be a punishment pick. Now for August though, I'm kind of slumping right now, so I'm really hoping that Operation will be kind to me and I can hopefully pick some like romances and novellas and like kind of like easier things. I'm not really in the mood for like heavy fantasy right now. I do really want to read like mainly sequels, but like hopefully some romance sequels would be really nice, or like shorter books. For the love of God, please give me short books. I do not want to read like chunky high fantasy stuff right now, like at all. Let's get started with our first draw then and see what my punishment's going to be. First punishment for not finishing my TBR for last month. No! What did I literally just say? Like, I don't want big chunky books, and of course my punishment pick is a book over 500 pages. This is exactly what I did not want. But here we are. I was going to say I don't make the rules, but I literally did make these rules, but I'm going to be good and I'll stick to them, I guess. But for this one, I'm going to read Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. I don't really want to read this book, but like if I don't force myself to read this, I'm never going to read it. I have a complicated relationship with Strange the Dreamer. The first half of that book is easily like one of my favorite things of all freaking time. I adored the first half so much. Just Laszlo Strange as a character and the whole lore around the city of Weep. Everything about it was wonderful and just so perfect until the romance sets in. The romance killed the first book for me. I almost DNF'd because of it. I was heartbroken by how much I ended up disliking this book because of it. And so as a result, I have been putting off Muse of Nightmares for so long because I hated the ending of Strange the Dreamer. I don't really care about, you know, the character that surrounds the plot twist at the end. I'm not gonna go into spoilers obviously, but I have to read it mainly because I love Laszlo Strange so much and I need to do him the justice of at least finishing his story. So I'm going to. So a brief synopsis of the first book. It follows our main character Laszlo Strange, who is a orphan who was kind of adopted by the like librarians or just the smart people. He's obsessed with myths and fairy tales, especially surrounding the lost city of Weep. Weep is a city that used to have a name, but one day everybody forgot it and nobody knows why. Nobody really cares about Weep because because in their minds they just think that it's some myth, some fairy tale, but Laszlo knows that it's real and he is ridiculed for that thought. But one day somebody from the city of Weep comes to their town and asks for volunteers to come help save their city, and Laszlo of course volunteers, and he gets to live his lifelong dream of going to the city of Weep and not just seeing it but helping to save it. I adored it so much, but you know, of course the romance had to come in there and just ruin everything, but either way it was still a great book and I do recommend it. But the second one I'm looking forward to much less. It's also huge. This book is 522 pages of pure agony that I don't really want to get through, but hopefully I'll like it. You know, maybe it'll surprise me. We shall see. Okay, bad plumbing I think is the toilet. That would make the most sense. I always forget which ones are which, to be honest. This one's hard to get though. That one is so hard to get. For draw number 2, I have to read a book that was released this year, and sticking with my sequel theme, I'm going to be reading Act Your Age, Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert. This is the third and final book in the Brown Sisters trilogy, which is a trilogy of companion novels surrounding these 3 sisters and their romance stories. I just loved the first 2 books so much. I read them back to back, and I've been waiting for book 3 for so long, and I am finally going to read it. I don't remember when it came out, but it was sometime earlier this year, and I've been wanting to get to it since then. I just haven't gotten around to it, but I've heard amazing things about it. This one follows the younger sister Eve, who is known to be really flighty and flaky and like not very mature for her age. I'm pretty sure she's autistic, but she decides to kind of take her life into her own hands and prove to everybody that she is not flighty, and so to do so she decides to essentially run away, because that's not flighty at all, right? But she ends up kind of forcing her way into a job as a cook at this bed and breakfast, which is owned by this like really grumpy guy who does not like her, but she's just determined to prove to herself that she can do this, and so she does, and they fall in love from there. So it's the grumpy and sunshine trope in romance, which I think is so fucking cute. I'm pretty sure the male lead is also on the autism spectrum, so that'll be a really interesting read for sure. I've also heard that the steam in this book is unlike anything that the first 2 books could possibly compare to, which is saying a lot because the first 2 books, wow, they were steamy. So I'm looking forward to this one. I can't wait to get to it and just kind of be back in this world with the Brown sisters and finish out this trilogy. The burp is this one. For draw number 3, I have to read a physical book, so I went through all of the sequels on my shelf, and I chose to read Fierce Like a Firestorm by Lana Popovic. This is the sequel to Wicked Like a Wildfire, which I read at least 2 years ago. More than that. Oh my god, was it 3 years ago? I think it was 3 years ago, and I haven't gotten to the sequel yet because I am the worst. But this one is such an interesting fantasy. It takes place in Montenegro, but in this world a witch's power comes in the form of what they call gleams. So each witch has a very unique kind of gleam to them. The main character in this one, her gleam is that she can turn colors and art and like beautiful things into what are called fractals. So it's kind of like this beautiful kaleidoscope, and then she takes that image and turns it into glasswork. With her power, she can show you the gleam if she wants to, but they have to keep their powers in hiding, otherwise people would be afraid of them and probably kill them. But the gleams in this are so beautiful. The sister in this one, her gleam is that she can turn your moods into song, I think it is. So she can like sing a song and it just like perfectly fits what you're feeling, I think it was. And then the mother turns your memories into food. She owns a bakery, and when people eat her food, they just get brought back to their happiest memories, or whatever it is that you want to remember. She can take that memory and put it into your food. It's just such an interesting way to have a like witch story, and it's just so beautiful too. This is just such like cottagecore vibes to me, and I'm so excited to get to it. I've been wanting to get to it for so long, but for some reason I just haven't, because you know, I'm the worst basically. And like this cover too, I'm just excited to be able to just look at this cover all month long, so I cannot wait to get to it. And for my last pick, I have to use a random number generator on my TBR. And again, I'm trying to stick with sequels this month, so I'm going to do myself a favor and just do that off of my sequel shelf on Goodreads. Of which there are, let me see, where is my sequel shelf? There are 38 books on my sequel shelf. So let me open up the number generator, set that to 38, generate number 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Alright, so the book that we chose here is Crazy Stupid Bromance by Lyssa K. Adams, which is the third book in the Bromance book club series. I can't wait for it. I've been meaning to get to it for a very long time. The fourth book has already been released and I have not got to the third one yet. It follows two characters who are present in the second book. One is the owner of this really cute cat cafe and the other one is this like IT hacker guy who like uses his powers for hacking for good. So those two met during the last book and they fall in love during this one, and I cannot wait to be kind of back in this world and back in this friend group with the Bromance book club, which if you don't know, I guess synopsis for like the series in general would be a good idea. But the Bromance book club is about a group of guys who are all like really successful men, but they struggle with knowing how to treat their wives and help them be happy, but they love their wives and their partners and they desperately want to make them as happy as possible. So they start this book club together where they read romance novels that were written by women for women to kind of use them as manuals, but not in like a creepy way that can kind of sound skeezy, but they're using these books to help them learn how to talk about their emotions and tear down toxic masculinity and like learn how to just be better men and be better partners as well as better friends towards each other as well. It's just such a sweet concept and I love it so much. I cannot wait to see what book 3 has in store for me. Alright, so these are the 2 physical books that I'm reading this month, plus 2 more digital copies. And then for any extras that I'm going to be reading this month, I'm currently reading an arc of Major Detours. I forget the author right now, but I'll leave a picture here. This is a like choose your own adventure, like interactive novel, which I've never read before, and so far it's a lot of fun. But I doubt that I'm going to finish it before the end of the month, so I'll be finishing up that one in August. And then also just whatever the Queer Joy book club is reading, which if you missed it, I did have the absolute pleasure of co-hosting their July live show a couple days ago. We read The Sound of Stars by Alechia and it was incredible. It was such a fun book and the live show was so much fun. I had a blast doing it, so I'll leave that link down below if you want to go check it out. It's saved on their IGTV, so feel free to check that out. The second half of the live show is filled with spoilers, so if you don't want spoilers, don't watch the last half of it. But yeah, I can't wait to see what the Queer Joy book club is going to be reading this month. They did give a little teaser and the book is going to be a brand new release. It's not being released until August 11th, so I can't wait to find out what that one's going to be. But yeah, that'll do it for this video. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you are in the world, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!